Ooh, hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the One Tile Challenge here on Comlands, a series thought up by Zorch Farming, friend of the channel, fellow creator. His first video in this series is linked in the comments below, where you can go and kind of get a lowdown on all the rules and regulations and whatnot. Welcome to episode 5, I want to say. Happy Precision Farming Day. Today is day 1 of precision farming. That will make an appearance here on the series now. I do miss precision farming from FS22, so it's kind of nice to see it back. Nice to see it back in its previous form to a certain extent, from what I understand, so with some new additions. New addition 1 being subsidies, which I think is pretty cool. So I may start looking at using cover crop, natural fertilizer, like rapeseed, that kind of stuff. I don't know what's available, but we may start looking at that kind of stuff after we harvest a crop. I am under the understanding that we are ready to harvest this, I guess. Is that the full growth state? So I'm getting no indication that this grass is like stage, whatever of whatever. It just straight up says ready to harvest. So am I getting it tricked into harvesting this too soon? Let me go through a couple little things here, and then we'll probably end up mowing that today, just because we want to get. So if you look here, we are stage 3 of 5 for this for our oats. I'm going to need to buy a harvester. I'm down to $13,800 from the last time I saw you. I'll show you a little bit about why that is, but we got to make some money. So I think if I can get this baled up and wrapped this month, May, June, July. So probably by July, end of July or whatever, this should be ready to sell, and maybe that will line up also at the same time as the oats are ready to harvest. I can't wait to harvest this field. It's going to be fantastic. So this is going to be, I've never used this before, Granny's knitwear here. I literally put in like a couple hundred liters, maybe 400 liters of wool as it was, coming off the sheep. I probably put close to 500 liters of wool in there. So we currently have 245 liters of clothing, which is worth $2,700 right now. What the hell? That's substantial. So that's just a tiny little bit of wool. So that'll be a moneymaker for us. Anyways, and we do have some lettuce, which would cut us short if we did sell it right now. So we may not sell it right now. Peas also come up about $500 short of the total value, so we're not going to worry about that. On recommendation from somebody, I think I mentioned it before, somebody in the comments had said, hey, why don't you try making, if you're going to grow peas and lettuce, why don't you grow peas in one garden and lettuce in the other? So I have now changed that. So as of now and going forward, one of these, I'm assuming it's this one, is growing lettuce, because it says lettuce down there. And this one should say peas. Yeah, okay. So we have one growing lettuce, one growing peas. Each has about 6,000 liters of water in it, so we may have to get some water in there too. But yeah, we have some produce sitting out there baking in the sun. So let's go grab our tractor. So we have... Wait, did I use them all? I did use them all. Oh my God, things are a little bit messy over here. Oh, actually, another side note, somebody in the comments had asked, a couple people maybe actually had said they found it hard to believe that this sickle bar mower, or whatever we're calling it, hydraulic double bar mower, why it doesn't unfold further, because of the way we get this kind of weird overlap, right? Where you have the front bar goes down, this bar goes down. They're seemingly the same length, but there's kind of a different stage, and it seems like there's a lot going on here. Anyways, it looks like maybe there should be more to this than there actually is, but no, I can't see that. Other than just dropping these blades and mowing, I can't see that there's any other functionality there. Oh, also, I will come over here too. Somebody in the comments had clarified my question in regards to this planter. I had wondered, was the reduction in price just because it came with far less metal and wheels? It's just sort of a stripped down model. Well, apparently in the real world, it comes down to the size of tree you can plant and the sort of furrow that gets put down, I guess, because the way this thing works in the front is it basically digs a little trench that your trees can go into, and then I believe these sort of help close it back up, the little slanted pieces of metal. I think that's how it works. Anyway, so it just, that's the differentiator in the real world, is one of these allows you to plant bigger trees because of the trench that it digs. All right, so we're just going to ignore the rain here for a minute and rip up here. So I bought another 40 saplings. So originally we put 120 saplings in, and I added another 40. So we now have all the rows filled up here. Right, so we're full. If you remember, there was a row and a half or whatever that was empty here. So now we're topped up, maxed out, good to go. So I think that means 160 saplings. Oh shoot, I gotta put, you know what, these little tufts of grass. I may put a fence, like some additional fencing in here at some point, but these little tufts of grass represent sort of like an invisible enclosure, I guess. So there's collisions on them, which is a little bit rough when you hit them. So I'm just going to put those pylons in so I stop running into them, because I just keep running into them at full speed. Anyways, yeah, so I know this is the sheep enclosure here, but I did run these saplings up here. So we do have saplings that'll grow right up to the top here, but I figured, you know what, just because there's sheep in here doesn't mean we can't use some of the space for that, right? So we may actually at some point look at putting a few more trees up in here, and the sheep can just deal with it, you know? Who pays the bills? Sheep. That's right. So yeah, anyways, today, well, anyway, the start of this episode, I shouldn't say today, because historically our episodes span multiple months, although I think the last one was just a planting episode, wasn't it? We put the field in, we got the lime down, that kind of stuff. So yeah, historically our episodes go multiple days, so we'll see where this one takes us anyways. If you recall, I said when I was painting in the little laneway here, I think I said I was going to go back and add some grass or something to the middle of it. I never did, but the grass just grew in. So I like this. See how the my tractor tracks line up with this laneway here, and there's grass in the middle. That's the one thing I don't like about this map. I'm going to show you something here. As soon as let's feed Granny. Here you go, Granny. There's a whole 283 liters of wool for you to spin into some clothing. But I see this often on maps, and maybe somebody can explain why they do this. So if the idea is we're going to put in a bunch of like gravel tracks, why are they so dang wide? Is this because, you know, you can drive giant, like, look at this. Unless it's, you know, they're pretending that this track was put in here by massive equipment, and therefore the tires would have been a lot wider. This just doesn't make sense to me. I don't know. It doesn't, I know this isn't like a 2-lane divided highway, right? Where you would, you know, it's like we expect you to drive this way on this side and the other way on the other side. It just, I don't know. Doesn't look right to me. Anyways, all right, well, let's grab the mower and get rocking on that field so we can get those, we can get that stuff baled. So what did I think? So May, June, July. So I thought maybe July those bales would be ready. So we have oats in the ground, and oats would be coming out of the ground right around July. So that could be perfect. We could end up with, well, I'm curious to see how many bales we get off anyways, because that's going to obviously be a direct correlation to how much money we're going to have to purchase a harvester. In between now and then, so once we take those oats off the ground, I'm going to want to put in the flour mill production. So we're going to want to have that rocking and rolling. And God, I have the sneaking suspicion that there's another. You guys are going to tell me that I mowed this too soon probably, but how the hell would I know? It says ready to harvest. Yeah, straight up ready to harvest. Well, we're going to harvest it. We're also probably going to mow the grass around the map that we might as well, right? There's no sense discriminating, you know, the field grass versus the map grass. We might as well get all of it. Well, yeah, we'll get to work doing this, and then, I don't know, we'll see how far we can take this episode here. I am going to be implementing our previous strategies where I snap my fingers and this is mowed. And then, I mean, really what we all want to see, we don't want to see the mowing. We want to see how many bales we're going to get off this, right? That's what I'm curious about. If I was watching me right now, I'd say, skip the mowing, tell me how many bales we're going to get. So I think that's what we're about to do. Oh, shoot. Yeah, I mentioned, sorry, before I do that, as I jump around here, I drove all the way up here just to show you the saplings, but not the fact that we added 10 of these sheep. So I went and added 10 of these, you know, middle-aged sheep. So we're up to 35 sheep now, and the meadow grass came in. So we have 30,000 liters of meadow grass. So we were starting to see I mean, you can see there's 2,500 liters of the grass we had originally put in sitting here, but now we have meadow grass, so it's not a big a worry. At first, at one point there, I thought we were going to have to put in, we're going to have to throw in some bales over here. Now, I think what I might do still, because I don't know what sheep prioritize. Like if I have meadow grass and I have bales in there, will they eat the bales first and then the meadow grass, or will they eat the meadow grass? I don't know, but we may take 2 or 3 bales and just throw them in there, just so that way there's some backup food in case we have an issue. But yeah, anyways, I'm gonna get this mowed, and then we're going to regroup here when it's time to put all this grass in rows. Hey, just jumping in here mid mow to talk a little bit about precision farming. Yeah, I think I said happy Precision Farming Day and never really went beyond that. But if you've not used precision farming, there's a bunch of good tutorials online already from people like Farmer Klein. For example, Farm Sim Guy, they're doing all the how-tos and all that kind of stuff. I'm not going to do any of that here, but we will use it on the channel. I'll use it in every series. It's going to be now a permanent fixture of everything we do. So just know that. Now, the way precision farming works in regards to the data that you can use for your field, we have one plot here. If I recall this correctly, but we have one plot here, right, which is basically field 46 or whatever we have. One of the features with precision farming, so one way to get data for your field is to go spend 17 grand, get the Azaria Scout, go around, take samples, and then send them in for analyzing, whatever it costs per sample, and there you go, right? The other way to do it is to pay for a service where somebody else comes out, they take the samples, and you pay for their service. So you still pay your, per sample, but you now pay the additional service fee. I had a quick look, and for us to purchase the field data for our piece of land, it's like $6,000 or $7,000. And sorry, it's not as much as seven. It's like 6,600, something like that. So the Azaria Scout is $17,000 plus then plus scans. I have, if I got to pay like somewhere in the sixes for my whole entire piece of property, that's probably going to be worth it to me to just do that. So I think what we're going to end up doing is, as fun as it would be to buy the Scout and start taking samples. Now, the field data will eventually expire. So eventually you need to get new field data, and then over time it probably starts to become more worth it. But I'm not too worried about that. I don't think. I think we're just going to buy the field data. So where that's going to help us, it's not going to help us initially or really right this second, because we put the crops in the ground. I only got the one layer of fertilization, so we're not double fertilized on our fields. So perhaps that would help if we were going to do that, if we were going to try to get into the oat field and fertilize it again. But I'm not going to worry about that. We're going to live with the one stage of fertilization. We're going to obviously I'm mowing this grass already, and whatever. So this grass is getting mowed now. So I think I guess a long-winded way of saying I'd like to purchase the field data, so I have an idea of where everything sits. Because this grass field here, we're going to want it to start growing again, obviously, and I'm going to want to know what precision farming wants me to do in order to maximize the growth here. I'll point out also, I don't know if you just noticed behind me, but the grass we're mowing goes all the way up to the sheds and the garden. So basically I've gone and I've mowed all the additional grass that we're going to mow, not just this grass field here. So I'm going to get this put up in likely. I can almost guess right now what I'm going to end up doing is finishing mowing this. I'm going to put it in rows. I'll probably even go as far as baling it, and I might go as far as wrapping it, or we may rejoin in the wrapping stage, because like I said, I do want to get a bunch accomplished in this episode. Probably not as far as the actual harvest, but you never know. We may get ambitious here and find our way right to the oat harvest. But yeah, I just want to touch base. Also, probably a good time to ask you, have you used precision farming? What do you think of it, and will you be using it in your gameplay going forward? And are there any nifty little details that you want to throw my way that'll help me along the way? I can tell you right now, I don't see myself using tram lines. I don't see the benefit. I think it's more of a simulation kind of thing, the tram lines. But because really, if we want to jump in and spray a field, we can just we just need skinny wheels, right? Skinny wheels, of which I don't have, and I don't think I can put them on this tractor. But that is what it is. But yeah, I don't see us doing tram lines is the only thing. So with that, I will continue on here, and I will see you when I see you. All right, that's enough of that. So we are mowed, we are baled, and we are wrapped short of these two right here, which we're going to go dump into the sheep enclosure right now. Man, okay, well, so that was 39 bales. The bale counter will actually say 38, but I forgot to reset the counter for the first one, so it was actually 39 bales. So not too bad. Nothing great. I think it's probably about 15 grand or so when we go and sell them. All right, my friends, here you go. Perfect. So what do they got? We got 9,000 liters of food and 30,000 liters of meadow grass. These guys are never going to go hungry. All right, so a couple of things. One, well, let's go grab the trailer so we can start picking these things up and moving them off the field. And then we're going to probably go purchase the field data, so we can get a good idea as to what it is we're dealing with here, and then we sort of have. So here's our next goals. We want to get this grass field turned around. So whatever we discover through the precision farming report, I guess, or whatever, we want to do whatever we can to this field to make it farmable. We want to figure out a way to get a harvester by the time if it's going to be June or July. That's not what we're looking for. We're looking for the next one. June or July is when we're going to need to harvest. So we got to figure out how to make enough money to be able to get our harvester. Once we harvest, we're going to want to put the oats into a production. So we need to get the money together to be able to put. I think it's like 30,000 or 30,500 or something. We can double check, but the sort of grain mill that also happens to spit out pig food, I think it's going to be about $30,000 or $32,000 for us to get that up. So we got to figure that money. So we need, I think it's like 20 grand for the most basic of harvesters, unless one shows up in the sale. We need like 35 grand, let's say, for the production. So we're like $55,000 right there. And then we need the field data, I think we looked is like, call it 65, so 55, so we need a little like 61, call it $62,000. So, and also I think I'm going to quickly put I'd like to quickly get in the Gaming Joy field work fill up department, or whatever it's called, where you can purchase seeds and lime and all those good things, manure, even whatever, from a silo. Let's call it like 70 grand we need. So if these bales, I think these bales will probably ferment before that oats are ready to harvest. So that's like 15 grand. Then we have then we basically got to hope that our sheep spit out enough wool, and our greenhouses or gardens or whatever we're going to call them spit out enough produce that we get the money we need. So it's going to be I don't know, it's going to be interesting to say the least. Yeah, that's about it. So we'll dump this, and then we will field data, and probably that bulk material purchase or whatever would pretty much bankrupt us from that point, but it's worth it. And then we'll figure out what we need to do to that field. The reason why I want to get that sort of bulk purchase thing, well, there is a bit of a discount in the product itself. So that silo is going to save us from having to go up to the store all the time, buying pallets and bags, and perhaps not knowing how much we need and that kind of stuff. So that's kind of a good one for us. Something else from when I put the lime in, I guess, what was that, last episode, right? So big issues with that spreader in the last episode, and I honestly thought it was just me until I was watching episode from Adventures of Gong Gaming, who was having the same issue as me when it came to not being able to just pull up with a spreader to a bag or a pallet or whatever and just, hit R and fill at will. I literally thought I knew it was wrong anyways. I thought there was an issue there, but I didn't know maybe that others were having that same problem. So after a little banter back and forth and some thought about testing, I think we've now realized that there are a number of spreaders that work the way we expected them to, but there are also some spreaders that don't, which is really crappy because I don't like it in this game when you have to guess because, it's not... Okay, sure, it's easy to just correct things in the game, especially when you're making content. If you're in charge of the edit, you can do whatever you want, but it's crappy, right? And it's a pain in the arse to have to, buy something, fail, and then go replace it and, correct your money and all the rest of the stuff. Like, it's just not cool. So anyways, I did notice a number of spreaders that work. Now I've gone and I sold my spreader and bought another one. I bought one. I definitely have gone down in performance, down in capacity, and probably up in aggravation, but I don't have to use my loader arms to fill up every time now. I just have to... Well, I could pull up to a bag if I wanted and just hit R. I think, though, I'd like to put in that bulk station probably so it's field data, bulk station, and then we'll see what we need to do to our grass field here. But yeah, that's kind of the plan. I'll show you soon here what I have, because I know we're gonna have to put lime down. I believe we're gonna have to put lime down if we want to optimize the grass field there. Really, we should be doing two things. Really, we should be rolling it, I guess, and then we should be, and I think we have to put lime down. You can see there's actually a strip of lime there. I had to test something just to see if what I thought was going to happen was going to work, and it did. So there you go, and there you go. Thank you. Okay, we got some cash. All right, so if you're unfamiliar with precision farming, again, this is not going to be a tutorial. Going to show you how I go and purchase my field data. So you go up to the top to precision farming, then there's a bunch of sub menus in there. That's what I'm not worried about that right now. I just clicked on my piece of property, and we're going to be buying the soil sample for this entire piece of land. So right down here, purchase soil information, $6,500, and we find out that if I remember correctly from FS22, silty clay is poor quality, high seed rate, low yield. Loamy sand is sort of the other end of the spectrum, maybe, but the sweet spot is this, I think. Is that right? Am I right? Sandy loam and loam is where we want to be. Anyways, it looks like the majority of what we have, if that is indeed the case, is where we want to be. So then we go here. pH is driven by your lime, I believe. Actually, I don't have to say I believe, because I can see right here where we did the test strip. Yes, indeed. Right now, we could go and put a load of lime down, and that would increase go towards correcting our pH levels. So that way this field would look a little bit healthier. This is fertilization. So we could also do the same thing with fertilization. We could grab a fertilizer spreader and go out here and dump fertilizer. Honestly, between the two, I don't know which one is worth more. I do know that red is usually bad, and shades of green or close are usually better. So I think what I'm going to end up doing is we may look at putting in that bulk fill station and then grabbing our spreader, grabbing some solid fertilizer, and going and covering this field. Anyway, so if I could do that and I could roll, that'd be fantastic. But I don't know there's a roller that we want to spend the money on. So let's just quickly check something here. Sorry, and by check something, I mean let's just put in this fill station. So in containers, if you scroll down, I think I said I was going to check to see if this was crossplay, and I apologize, I didn't. But I'm going to be using it. So we have a bunch of different ones. We have one for animal husbandry. We have one for bulk. It looks like probably everything, liquid items. And then we have the fieldwork fill station, specifically for fieldwork, and a 30% discount for buying bulk. I don't know what that 30% discount is based on. And to be honest, there's some very inexpensive options when you go into when you go into the store, especially with some of the modded, fertilizer packages that I have. It ends up being sort of a discount all the time. But anyways. All right, we have 12.7 right now. Let's see what this does. Oh, it was only like $100 just to kind of smooth things out here. I had somebody on maybe episode 3 make a comment about something about Bob Ross and Farming Simulator, and I took it as a compliment, I guess, at first, and then I started thinking about it afterwards. I'm like, wait a minute, was that guy making fun of me? Let's just go with compliment. And perhaps if you're seeing this, you can clarify. I'm pretty sure you meant, hey, good job on the this type of work, and not you're an idiot for spending so much time or whatever. I love these mud tracks. It'd be cool if we had other ones, but I'm not. That's not a complaint. That's just a more or less a compliment. But I mean, if we had more versions, that would be cool. I would not complain. Let's grab some fertilizer. What do I have for fertilizer? I have something. Do we have any fertilizer? Let's go take a quick drive around and see if we have any fertilizer. So here's what I bought in lieu of the other one that we had. This thing was $800 more than the first. We might as well use this up first. Then we'll go and we'll worry about fertilizer. Yeah, this thing holds less material. It was more money. And it has a slower working speed and a skinnier working width. So I basically just took it upon myself to punish myself and suffer for my stupidity in buying the wrong spreader. So now I have this one here where I drive 5 kilometers an hour slower. It's about 2 meters skinnier and holds 100 liters less. So now, if you recall, I used to have to disconnect the spreader, grab my I usually had a pallet in my loader arms there. Disconnect the spreader, go over and hold the pallet over top of the spreader so it would empty into it, and then I would reattach, reactivate the lines for the for the guided steering, and then off I'd go to finish the job. Now watch, here come the lines. There you go. That's way better. Obviously that's the way it should be, but I'm still stuck with I think this is an 8 meter working width, which is not a bad working width, but I had like 10 meters before and I could drive 5 kilometers an hour faster, and it held an extra 100 liters. So what we'll do is we'll suffer for now with this. I just want to get some money going, because from $1,800 there was a jump to like mid threes. And I didn't see, even the one that was like $3,500, I don't think I saw a huge advantage to it. So basically this was my best bet versus going to like 15 grand. There's some a little more expensive models that we'll end up with for sure. Just right now we're going to kind of suffer here. All right, so let's go refill here. No, let's not refill. Let's put ourselves some lime. Let's go get some solid oh, wait, no, there's a little bit more lime there. Then we'll do the solid fertilizer. There's actually more lime in there than I thought. As I veer off course here. Guided steering is good if you lock in. If you just look at it, then it doesn't work, does it? So we mowed, we baled, we wrapped, we bought some field data, we put in a bulk purchase point. Next, we are going to probably... So like I said, we need to make some money, and really there's a couple things. We need to make some money so we can get to harvest season and have a good harvest. So the only way we make money here, there's nothing else that I can do to sort of like amp up the income. I mean, it looks to me like whatever wool I put in for old Granny to work on there, she seems to work fairly quick, which is good. But I can't speed the sheep up. I could buy more sheep to increase my production. Holy crap, how much is in this thing? Oh, there's still 400 liters in there. All right, so I still have one more trip back here before we go a different route. So I don't have an immediate income generator or any way to speed up my income short of literally just buying more sheep. So what we'll likely do here is, once I get the fertilizer down, I can't see much other route or much else that we can do other than perhaps get to harvest season and sort of figure out how much money we made between now and then, or at least get to harvest season, get all of the stuff we need, and then in the next episode we harvest. Because once we harvest, we'll be putting things into what I hope will be the production that we've figured out a way to put in place, and then we're gonna have a kind of a bunch of straw down. So we're gonna have to find something to do with the straw. I don't want to just sell the straw. If you got any suggestions for what to do with the straw, it'd be cool to know, because I can't. I mean, I could buy a fermenting silo, which we've sort of deemed as maybe not something that we want to do early on, just to keep things kind of like from just spiraling out of control quickly, which is what happens when you have fermenting silo. But if I have straw, what can I do with it? It's worth nothing if you sell it. So it's like it's worth something, but it may as well be worth nothing. Yeah. So I don't know what to do with the straw. I thought maybe making TMR was a good idea, not with the intention of feeding it to somebody, but with the intention of straight up selling it, but I don't know. All right, so that's all the lime I have. You can see where it has increased the, the pH, or at least got us into the green. Green typically means good, so that hopefully is right. Next, but I think we're going to leave that there, though, and now we're going to go to I want to try to get some fertilizer into this field, because I want to say that we were only 50% fertilized at any time anyways. Does that sound right? Let's see how much it costs to fill this. Okay, so it's about $110 per liter. Now let's see how fast we go through it. All right, so you should see the mini map turning green down there, which it is, which is amazing. Oh, look at this. Okay, so good news. It looks like we're going through this way slower than we did the lime. That is fantastic, actually. That we're just blasting through the lime. Now, am I going to get great coverage here? No, but I am going to get better than what we had. So what do we got? We got $10,900. Let's call it $11,000 right now, and we're gonna go and we're gonna fertilize this field. So let's see how much money we have left when this is done. All right, we're on the last pass here. Sort of a little piece that I missed, but I'm not gonna sweat that. And we're down to $9,621. So it was about $1,400. I think I said we had approximately 11,000 when we started, right? It's about $1,400 on fertilizer. Now, granted, we still have a couple hundred liters here in the hopper, so not that bad. I did kind of start thinking about it, though. If you recall, I believe I can get a bag of 1,000 liters of solid fertilizer for about $500 in the store, and so I mean that would equate to about 50 cents per liter, and with the silo, or with this fill station we have, I think we're paying approximately $100 or $1 per liter instead of 50 cents. So I think we're actually going to end up paying a little bit more using this bulk fill up, even though there's a discount. But now there are some maybe $500 for 1,000 liters is kind of unrealistic. So maybe this is actually more realistic. Now, I think we can also go so far as to sell back whatever we don't use. Can I do that? Am I right about that? Oh, yeah, I took it. And an environmental. Okay, so hold on. That was 400, almost 450, $460. And what did I have? 200 liters? So did I just get like $2 per liter back? Okay, well, I mean, if I buy it for $1 and sell it for $2, that's not bad business. What the hell? Okay, anyways, here's what I am now thinking. So it's May, it's 3:30 in the afternoon, and we really have no other way of making money short of what the sheep provide us, which we can continue channeling over to Granny. These bales will be ready in either the end of the second day of June or beginning of July, which is when I think would begin to harvest our oats. And then we have the produce. So I think what I'm going to do is we're going to probably now say see you in a minute, but that minute will cover a month or two, and we'll see where we sit at that time. All right, we find ourselves now in June here. This is the first day of June, and this grass has started to grow. So we are kind of a little all over the place for our levels at the bottom there. We have an expected yield that jumps. Look at that. Expected yield 122, and then we dropped 97. But I think I'm a little all over the place in regards to what we've done to this field. So in the future, like I didn't roll it, for example. So there's a bonus there. We didn't correct the lime. I just in the future when I've got like more stable money, we'll do that kind of stuff. But right now, I just want to make sure that I've got grass growing. Now, interestingly enough, that grass says stage 2 of 4. So I guess in July we're going to see that grass at a certain stage. If it says ready to harvest, I'm going to assume though that's level 3. And then we're going to wait till probably August to mow it, thinking that would be level 4. And we'll just test because I swear the last time when I mowed that, remember when I said it was tricking me into thinking that it was ready to mow? I think that's reality. I don't think it was actually the full stage. So anyways, okay, so here's something else we're going to do here. We're going to go pop down to Granny's. We're going to put this into Granny's production, and then I think we're gonna set Granny to sell. The chances of me getting a full pallet of clothing by the time we need to purchase that harvester are pretty thin, slim, thin, whatever. So and not to mention it's not just the harvester, but I have to purchase the production to put the oats into, which is going to be anyways. I don't really know where I'm going to come up with that money right now. Yeah, because Granny right now is sitting with 500 liters of clothing. The price for clothing has been pretty decent all along here. So, I mean, yeah, granted, it's going to cost me like $500 probably to sell it right now. All right, well, you know what? That answers my own question. Let's let that roll to the end of the day, and we'll see where we end up. Nothing's really a great sale price right now, and I guess in reality we don't have to buy the harvester yet. I only have to buy it when it's time to harvest. So I think that means I'm going to keep plugging along here, and likely these are going to be ready for sale. I want to say the end of June. July looks like it'll be harvest month, but yeah, I don't know. Let's see where this takes us. All right, so we are deep into the month of June here. Now we're in the second day, and good news, our bales are ready to sell. Let's take this stuff up to the little market here. We'll see what we're dealing with for cash. We're about to roll into the month of July, where provided the oats are ready at the right time, 12. I figure there's about $15,000 to $16,000 worth of bales. Provided the oats are ready on time, we should be mowing. We should be harvesting those in this next month. I don't typically like. If you've watched any of my gameplay, I don't typically blast through months, but the way this is sort of shaping up, there's really literally nothing for me to do but wait. So I can't see how I'm going to make an episode out of me waiting for something to happen. So this is my best go of it. I think as we really kind of like ramp up here and we have lots of stuff going on, then that'll be different. We can fill out a full year's worth of content, but yeah, right now we're just doing it like this, guys. So it was 12. So the first one was 12. So it's almost 20 grand in bale sales and roughly $17,000 in environmental score rewards, which are driven by what we've done to our land to get it prepared. This is where I was I already talking about the difference between plowing and cultivating, and that a shallow cultivation or just direct seeding is going to get you a better environmental score than deep plowing because of what it does to the ground. Anyways, it's kind of interesting. That part of precision farming I really like. Some bad news with the oats. If you look all the way down at the end over there, you can see hail damage. So we have sustained hail damage, so we're going to have minimized yields there, which is unfortunate. Also, currently the lettuce and the peas are not at peak price, so we're not going to worry about that. And it looks like we're spitting out roughly 300 liters per month right now of wool. So, and clothes are at basically an all-time low for us right now. Anyways, we're worth $8,700 versus 10. So there is about $2,000 per 1,000 liters for that would cost us right now to sell them. So, where it did look like possibly a good time to set them to sell earlier, a month ago or so or whatever, it doesn't look like that now. So I think really what we need to do now is see a harvester. This would be an absolute blessing if a harvester came up for sale and just in time for us to need it for the oats. So two things I want to see in the month of July. One, are we going to be ready to harvest the oats? And two, what this is going to say ready to harvest, I can guarantee it. And then we're going to wait another month to harvest and see what it looks like. All right, I just woke up and couldn't wait to run out here to this grass field. And look at that. It says ready to harvest. So let's not fall for that. Let's wait until the month of August to mow this grass. And then we'll see if we get roughly 38 to 39 bales again, or if we get more. My guess is we're going to get more because I think this should be stage 3 right now, not stage 4. But it does say ready to harvest. But anyways, what is ready to harvest right now is looking at us next door there, and that's our oats. So that is good news. I have not gone to check the sale yet this morning. I did notice a cultivator at one point, like a shallow cultivator that would have been amazing, but I've just been nervous to spend any money. Let's check the price of peas and lettuce right now. So lettuce, if we sold this lettuce right now, it's going to cost us about, what is that, $1,600. If we sell these peas, it's only going to cost us $5,000. So really what we need to do is we need to purchase the harvester, and then we have to put the crop somewhere. And I don't have anywhere to put it right now. So let's go grab the 300 liters of clothing that's ready to go to Granny. Then we'll go and purchase our harvester from the store. All right, there you go, Granny, back to work for you. All right, so greenhouses don't worry about, grass field don't worry about. We are going to, I'm not going to drive up to the store if we're going to get a harvester. So let's go park this. And we're going to go spend some money and get those oats out of the field. All right, it pains me there was nothing for sale, but so really, I think the only thing we can afford at the starting here is pretty much the same thing that everybody can afford, I guess, in this Massey. So no surprises there. Free paint on the rims, that's fantastic. All right, so this is, I think, what we're gonna buy. I gotta buy the cabin. I can't use this with an open air. And then I've painted the rims for free, and then I painted this racing stripe, I guess, or whatever this is, for free. We'll go with no license plate. I believe this is gonna drop a swath for us without us having to do anything. And I threw some Michelins on it, so I'm gonna spend an extra $600 for the cabin there, anyways. But that's about it. I could increase the capacity to 3,500, but I think it cost me $3,000 just to add 1,000 liters. So you know what? That's fine. We'll just juggle and get this done. All right, and there's the header that comes with it, but is basically what we're gonna buy. It's $2,800. Comparatively, we could look at like instead of 4, we could go 4.2 meters, but it'd be $6,500. So yeah, this is definitely the least expensive option for us. So we'll definitely go this route. All right, so no header trailer needed here. There's just us, so that's good. Well, and the workers that not the workers, but the traffic that we seem to combat every time we head through the intersection. But that's okay. I'm not worried about that. So this is definitely not the worst way to start. I mean, it's not a bad harvester. I mean, the capacity is going to be a challenge for us. I don't know what the working speed is like, but anyways, we'll get the job done. My only concern though is where the heck am I going to put these oats when I take them out? Because I'll show you here exactly what I'm looking at, so we can kind of strategize together here before we put this harvester in the field. All right, here's the flour mill that I'd like to put in. It's $31,000 plus landscaping. Landscaping is for real, you know. So we basically have $14,000 now. So I need 16, 17, 18. I need like 18. Let's call it 20 grand. Basically, I got to come up with like 20 grand to get this thing on the ground, in play, whatever we're going to call it. So somewhere here, this is going to sit nicely and we're going to, that might be a nice flat area there, but I don't have enough money. So what we might want to run the risk of is having to sell some of the oats. There's a so in a similar style to our sort of bulk fill up over there are Gaming Joy silos that are like 10 grand. I think I've got them on New Frontier. I have them on Spokovo. I use them. They're great. For $10,000 you get 100,000 liters of capacity, which is kind of hard to beat. You know, I'd be spending 10,000 of the 20,000 that we need to put in the that production, and that's hard to wrap my mind around. I still need an idea what I'm going to do with this straw too. I should check. Yes, indeed, I am dropping the swath. I just had a moment thinking maybe I forgot to do that because I'm paying so much attention to what I'm going to do with these oats that I didn't go there. Despite our small logistical challenges, it is nice to get the harvester in the ground. So we're on episode 5 and we're harvesting our first crop. Well, that's not really true because grass is a crop. So we've harvested our grass crop a few times already. And actually, if you think about it, we're coming up on 1 year. Actually, it says year 2 now, doesn't it? Why does it say year 2? Did we not start in August? But it's telling me that I'm in year 2. We are, we're pretty much a full year and 5 episodes. That does seem, you know, quite quick for me in how I would typically do things, but it just seems to fit in this challenge here. I don't really want to. I can't really take forever to get to these types of moments. So we're here. I wish I knew how much we were going to get off this field. We should jump out here in a second and just check to make sure there isn't some information panel that pops up when we're standing in the field. Because if we can get an idea how much storage we're going to need, then, you know, if a Gaming Joy, you know, bulk silos 10 grand and you can hold 100,000 liters, I don't think there'll be a trailer that's less, unless we found, I mean, I've got a bunch of those kind of base trailers. Like there's trailers there that are like $2,000 or $3,000. I just don't know how much room we're gonna need. Because I think over the next couple of months anyways, we can probably save up enough money from sheep, the wool, the peas and lettuce, and then also we're going to be able to mow our grass again here, and then, you know, in relatively short-ish order, get another round of silage. I don't know, but let's get this thing full, and then we'll figure out what we're going to do with these oats. Okay, so this is full, and I got something interesting to look at here. So let's just move this over here so we can empty it. I just ran over some crops, I think. Let's grab our trailer and use it for the first time. Pop the top off. Yeah, so interestingly enough, as luck would have it, I think we do have enough money for the production. We may not have enough money right now to make it look good, but we should be able to place it. And I'll show you how in 2 seconds once I get these oats out of here. What is that, 2,500 liters? And this thing holds 8,000, I think. All right, so look at this. We have $13,800 right now. We almost have 1,000 liters of clothing here, of which is worth $7,500. Now, granted, that's $2,000, almost $2,500 less than what the max price will be. But look at that, $7,500 there. We have $8,700 worth of lettuce right now. So that's that's like $16,000. And then we have $5,000 worth of peas. So there's $21,000. That's like almost $35,000, and we need 31 plus whatever landscaping we need to do. So we have enough money right now to put that production in and have a place for our oats. So I'm hopefully not going to regret waiting till we fill up that trailer. I mean, basically I have 3 loads that I can put into that trailer before I have to worry, and then this thing will hold 2,500 liters. So I mean, assuming that we're going to need more space than what we have in this harvester and that trailer, then I have a solution. Now, I don't think it's a great solution because I'd be underselling some of our hard-earned product. I mean, if it gets us what we need, then it's okay. Then we can begin producing the flour, and then from there, I don't know whether there's a bakery that I'd love to buy, but so we can start making bread. But anyways, at the very least, we'll start making flour. Because if we look at prices right now, we're in the low point of oats. So if we were forced to just sell our oats right now, we'd be making about $400 per 1,000 liters, or a high of 640. So this production, if I recall, will give us, I don't think it doubles the oats, but I believe it's close, if not double. So we put in 1 oat, get out, I think 2 flours, if not 1.5 flours, plus pig food. Pig food is typically quite lucrative. But flour at a high point is worth $800. So it's worth almost $200 more than what the oats are worth. And you're also getting more flour for your oats, basically. Plus you're getting pig food that possibly does not have a place to sell it. So if that's the case, then we're probably going to have to put down some kind of a sell point in order to sell it. So that's not the end of the world. But we'll definitely there'll be money to be made for pig food. So I guess what I'm trying to tell myself is it's going to be money well spent to get that production in there. But maybe if I don't have to put it in right this second, if I have enough room to store what we get off this field, then that's not a bad thing, because then we can let our pricing get in, rather than underselling our products, we can sort of let the pricing catch up. So yeah, so that is fantastic news. So I'm going to just continue on with this harvest here, and then we're going to see how much we get off this field. I honestly have no clue, but I'm hoping we have enough storage for it so we're not forced to make a stupid decision. All right, we are cruising along here, but we have now hit capacity. So the harvester is completely full. This trailer is completely full, and we need a place to put these oats. We got a rainstorm at one point, so I had to stop working completely and wait for that to pass. I think it might have even been a little bit of hail, so I managed to get some of the straw baled up. But now we're at a situation where I don't have anywhere to put these oats. So we now have no choice but to sell some stuff. So let's go over here. We're gonna go into the stock sale. Oh, we have a pallet of clothes sitting over there. That's good news. All right, time-saving stock check. So we have $13,800, and we need, I think, like $32,000 if we're not doing any landscaping right away, which is going to be painful, but it's okay. We'll deal with it. So I need 20 grand, right? Give or take 20 grand. Okay, so what do we got here? We have peas that are worth $5,300. Lettuce is worth $9,000, so we're like $14,000 basically there. And then we have clothes that are worth $86,000 that could have been worth $3,000 more. So that gets us our number. So that's obviously what we're going to have to do here. I'm not totally distraught over that because, I mean, the reality is all this stuff is going to continue producing, right? The nice thing about the wool is every day right now with our current number of sheep, we're getting about 300 liters of wool. Which then we put into Granny's sweatshop, and we're getting about 150 liters of clothing from that. But that doesn't stop, and then as soon as we put more, there you go, $9,700 plus the environmental bonus. I always forget about that. But anyways, the wool keeps going. We could increase our wool output if we got more sheep, which we will do for sure, but we're not doing that yet. And then obviously we have these greenhouses. So I could put in another garden if I wanted. There's some ways to increase this kind of output, but for now we know what we're getting anyway. So let me get this loaded up here, and then we'll go and figure out how much money we have to play with. We'll figure out where we want to put the production, and then we'll start. Anyways, that'll be good. So I'm at I did not plan to make this a 3-day recording session, but I'm now in my third session for this video. So I am doing my best. Usually what happens if I get interrupted or I know I'm going to have to move into an additional day of recording, I'll go and rewatch everything and even go so far as to load all of the previous content into my editing software, and then I'll have a good idea of where I left off, how much more time I have to record, that kind of stuff. Well, unfortunately, in this case here, I kind of ran out of time, so I have a very rough idea about how much playtime our current or how runtime or whatever our current amount of recorded content is. I'm running the risk right now of potentially making this a longer episode, which is what I really wanted to avoid with this series, but we'll see. Who knows? Maybe when I edit it all down, I'll find out that it's just right in line with everything else anyways. I did. I mean, obviously the harvest and now putting in this production, like if you think about it, we're accomplishing quite a bit in this episode, more than maybe what I would have kind of set out to do. But anyways, that's okay. I don't mind biting off a little bit too much in an episode here that gets us closer to our end goal, right? So this obviously is episode 5. This last day of recording, hopefully what ends up being the last day of recording for this episode, is being done on the day that episode 4 went live. So you are, while I'm recording this, you're currently watching whatever unfolded in episode 4. And I want to say that was the episode with the fields, right? Where we put in the fields and then planted and everything. So that's good. And I was at a job, speaking of farming simulator, which actually this is not simulator, this is real life, but I was at a job earlier. We were collecting some content for a waterfront property that'll be coming onto the market in real life, obviously. It's built into, you get a lot of, especially near where I live here in my part of Ontario, you get a lot of like, what was historically like a large farm property that has shoreline. And then over time, these farmers will break off pieces of, especially the waterfront, and sell the land so people can build there and make cottages and stuff. But then there still is a working farm. So I always think it's cool because you'll be driving on the cottage road, but the cottage road is really just maintained by the farmer, and it's a private road. Well, I got some crazy drone shots today, and I don't think I'll have them back by the time this goes up, but I will try to put them in Discord. So if you want to hit the link in the channel description and come join the Discord, I'll try to remember to put some photos there of some of the crazy property from today. It was just wild, like where the farm is and where these cottages are and the fields and everything. It's just cool. Anyways. We do a lot of drone work, and I really enjoy seeing the world from high up. It's just cool. So in the end, I forgot about the environmental bonus, and I think I undercalculated what we were actually going to get. So we now have almost $40,000 to play with, which is fantastic. This is kind of a tough one, right? Because if you look at the price of the production, it's $31,000. Currently, where I'm kind of trying to place it, it's showing 31.6. This is a pretty decent size hill here. So no matter what we do, if we try to place it on that side, it's going to be, we're going to have to do a substantial amount of terraforming to make it look the way we may or may not have wanted. I think if we put it sideways like this, that might actually not be too bad. All right, I'm afraid to look and see what this actually did to the land, but I can already see, yeah, we're raised over here. So let's do a little bit, like we only have $8,200, so we don't have a lot of money. I kind of want to get this field harvested. But I also want to just make this usable. Yeah, that's quite a lift there. So really the important bits for us are going to be on this end over here, on this loading dock. Yeah, we're going to go broke just trying to landscape here. All right, a little bit of a hill there, but that's okay. We'll figure this out over time. Guaranteed this is not going to stay like this, but I do need to get those oats into the production. Because I want to keep that harvester rolling. So I do like where that is. I don't like the current landscape. I kind of wish we had the move mod, because I dropped that into the ground a bit and then kind of dig around it. But anyways, it is what it is. I know I said it's not a realism series, but I do want to enjoy looking at what we're existing in here. All right, and then we'll head into production. We want oat flour activate, and it is currently going to be storing it, I guess, which means it's going to be spawning it on the steps. All right, I can work with that. If you've used that flour mill, and hated it or loved it, let me know now that I've placed it. It's always nice to find out about something after you've put it into the game. I just hope I'm not going to find out that everybody who's used it absolutely hated it for one reason or another. So we put 85 into the production already, and then this is another like 7 or something like that, I think I saw. I meant to say 1,400. All right, now off we go again. I think I mentioned I have fuel consumption set to high, and I also have dirt set to high or fast or whatever it is. Yeah, so our brand new harvester here with not even a full hour on it already looks like crap. But one man's looking like crap is another man's looking awesome, and that to me that does look awesome. So I will continue on here, and we'll continue to put the oats into that production, and then we'll I guess we'll sort of in the end figure out how much I don't know. I guess I don't have a really good way of keeping track of how much I'm going to end up putting into the production, but we know that it'll be a good amount anyway. So let's keep on rolling, and then we'll be able to finish off here with a kind of overall tally. Okay, and there we go. Man, this is now the fourth separate recording session here for this episode. Oh my gosh, this is definitely not something that I want to do on a continuous basis, is record over such an extended period, but it just kind of had to happen. And honestly, I think the last session was like 2 days ago or something. So it's just the crazy times around here. But anyways, main thing is I got this field done. I want to say it was like between 20 and 25,000 liters of oats off of here. Plus we have, if I remember, it's like 100,000 liters of straw. Yeah, so if we look in here, 105,000 liters of straw. This no longer registers the oats because we did put the oats into the production. But if you look, we already have 3,000 liters of flour, almost 500 liters of pig food. And when we come in here, we've got 60, yeah, it's probably about 21,000, 22,000 liters of oats that we put in here. So this has been clicking along. Maybe we'll just drive over there and we can have a quick look and see what the production looks like. Yeah, I mean, overall, that was a nice harvest. I'm contemplating bringing the field down this way a little bit still, just to kind of bring it up to like maybe the pavement here. Like if I brought the field up to like here, for example, we could potentially do that. But anyways, yeah, because anything else would probably end up on that side. We're going to run out of room quickly, but then I also don't have a lot of other stuff I want to put in. So you can see we're already producing flour. So we have 3,000 liters already on the loading dock there. So we're going to have to figure out what we want to do. It's not the time to sell it, I don't think, but we're also not in a good position to be able to hold on to a lot of stuff. So I'm going to really have to sort of figure it out. I did kind of go, well, as you can see, I did kind of go crazy to a certain extent with some landscaping. I tried so hard to smooth this hill out. And anyways, we have $1,000 cash. So it's not a great situation for us, but anyways, it's our situation, so we'll own it. We're basically so I've taken all the footage so far and loaded it into my editing software. I've made sort of I always do like sort of a first rough cut. That's already done, and I've got like an hour's worth of video so far. So I'm not adhering to my short is sweet kind of sort of strategy that I wanted to stick to here. So we're not going to be here for much longer. Let's just do this. So that covers the field. The next episode will perhaps, if I can scrounge up some money, perhaps be mulch. And then we'll see what precision farming says for that field. But I understand that if we mulch the field, we'll see some goodness come of that. And then probably have to figure out sort of the lime and the fertilizing state. And then I got to figure out what we want to put in that. I mean, sure, we could just rotate back and get to oats again. There's nothing that I can put in it now that comes out of the ground by the time oats are supposed to, go back in. So unless it's grass, but we'll figure that out anyways. There's some grain crops that could go in there, and then we could feed the production there. Perhaps some of those grain crops, maybe I want to do like half a field in something, and then when the oats come due, ready for planting, we can put oats in the other half or something like that. Anyways, and then also in the next episode, we'll be mowing this grass because we're testing our theory right now. It told me that it was ready to harvest, but I'm pretty sure that it was only stage 3 of 4. So we're going to test that right now. And then look what happened while we were working. Yeah, this. It's definitely not fun to drive through here. There's not a lot of visibility at all. Maybe when these get taller, because I think the lower branches will then be higher up in the ground. But right now we're early stages, right? Stage 2 of 4. But anyways, yes, you can walk through your orchard, your tree farm, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, anyway, so that's kind of where we're at, guys. So what a marathon session this was. Completely unintentional, but honestly, once I got going and I realized that we could get to the point where I could get the oats out of the ground, and then once I realized we could put the production in, there was absolutely no stopping me. I just had to go. So we have quite a bit of stuff to do in the next one, and we'll have to figure out what we're going to put in the field. I did check too. Our seeder is direct drill, so we won't have to actually cultivate this if we don't want to. I wonder if we just direct drill it, does that count as mulching too? Probably not, but anyway, so all right, well, that's that. We're gonna leave that there before I go and decide that we want to do something else. We'll just stand here over the exhaust pipe. Let's leave that there. Thanks so much, guys. This has been a marathon. I wanted to avoid this, but I know a lot of you guys really like these long episodes, so hopefully this one fits right up there for you guys. And other than that, thanks so much, and we will see you in the next one. Ciao.